The words hit me like a sledgehammer to the chest. Amanda sat across from our kitchen table, her perfectly manicured fingers wrapped around her coffee mug, smiling that practiced smile she used at HR meetings. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I've decided to be a surrogate for my ex-boyfriend, Greg. Mason and Crystal can't have children and I want to help them. I stared at her, my brain struggling to process what she'd just said. Outside our Portland suburb home, snow was falling heavily, trapping us in this moment like insects in amber. Your ex-boyfriend, I repeated slowly. Mason. Yes. You remember Mason, don't you? We dated before I met you. He's married to Crystal now, and they've been trying for years. The doctors say she can't carry a baby to term. I remembered Mason all right. Slick real estate agent, the kind of guy who wore expensive suits and drove a BMW he couldn't really afford. Amanda had accidentally run into him at the grocery store 6 months ago, and suddenly she was doing a lot more charity work for fertility awareness. And you just decided this? Without talking to me? Amanda's smile faltered slightly. I'm talking to you now, aren't I? I thought you'd be proud of me for helping someone in need. I set down my coffee cup carefully. How exactly does this surrogacy work, Amanda? Well, there are different ways, she started, but I could see the flush creeping up her neck, the same flush she got when she lied about working late. Different ways, I nodded. Like the clinical way, with doctors and procedures, or the old-fashioned way? Her face went pale. Greg, what are you implying? I'm not implying anything. I'm asking a direct question. How are you planning to get pregnant with Mason's baby? The silence stretched between us like a frozen lake, and I could hear it cracking. I think we should discuss this later, Amanda said, standing up. I have a meeting with Jenna and Lisa about the charity fundraiser. After she left, I sat in our kitchen, staring out at the snow. My wife of 16 years had just told me she wanted to carry her ex-boyfriend's baby, and from the way she'd avoided my question, I had a pretty good idea how she planned to make that happen. I pulled out my phone and called Eric, my best friend who owned a gym downtown. Eric, I need a favor. You still know that private investigator from your divorce? Yeah, Tony Marchetti. Why, what's going on? I think my wife is cheating on me with her ex-boyfriend, and she just told me she wants to be his surrogate. Eric was quiet for a moment. Jesus, Greg, that's... Wow. Yeah, I'll give you Tony's number. That afternoon, while Amanda was at her charity meeting, I made some calls. First to our bank, then to our insurance company. By the time Amanda came home, smiling and chattering about the fundraiser, I had quietly removed her access to our joint accounts and taken her off my insurance policy. How was your meeting? I asked innocently. Oh, wonderful. Jenna thinks we can raise at least $50,000 for the fertility clinic, and Lisa knows this wonderful doctor who specializes in surrogacy arrangements. That's nice, I said. By the way, I had to make some changes to our insurance today. Work requirement. You'll need to get your own policy. Amanda barely looked up from her phone. Whatever, honey, I'm sure it's fine. Over the next week, I watched my wife with new eyes. The late-night texting, the mysterious phone calls, the way she hummed while getting dressed for her meetings. Meanwhile, Tony Marchetti was earning his fee, following Amanda around Portland with a camera and a keen eye for detail. The photos arrived in my email on a Tuesday morning. Amanda and Mason at the Riverside Hotel. Amanda and Mason at a romantic restaurant downtown. Amanda and Mason in his BMW in the parking lot behind the fertility clinic, and they definitely weren't discussing medical procedures, but it was the audio recording that really got me. Tony had managed to plant a listening device in Mason's car during one of Amanda's charity meetings. I can't believe we're really doing this, Amanda's voice breathy with excitement. Greg has no idea. He's always been clueless, Mason replied. Remember in college how he never figured out we were still hooking up even after you started dating him? My blood turned to ice water. Well, he's about to get a big surprise. Amanda laughed. I'm already 2 weeks pregnant. By the time he figures out what's really happening, it'll be too late. And you're sure he'll go along with the surrogate story? Please, Greg's too nice for his own good. He'll grumble a bit, but he'll support me because that's what good husbands do. Meanwhile, you and I can finally be together the way we should have been all along. I turned off the recording and sat in my home office, staring at the snow falling outside. 20 years. 20 years I'd been married to a woman who'd been playing me for a fool since college. My 15-year-old daughter Sophie knocked on my door. Dad, are you okay? You look weird. I'm fine, sweetheart. Just work stuff. Sophie studied my face with those sharp eyes she'd inherited from me. Mom's been acting strange lately. She keeps talking about babies and helping people, but she seems, I don't know, fake happy. What do you mean? Like when she used to plan surprise parties for you, but she was really just trying to get out of trouble for maxing out her credit card. Smart kid. Too smart. That evening, Amanda came home glowing with excitement. Greg, I have wonderful news. The pregnancy test was positive. I looked up from my laptop. Congratulations. When did you and Mason conceive? Her face went white. What? What did you say? I asked when you and Mason conceived. Since you're carrying his baby, I figured you'd remember the date. Amanda sank into the chair across from me. Greg, I can explain. Please do. I'm particularly interested in how you explained it to Mason. And to yourself. For the first time in our marriage, Amanda looked genuinely frightened. How did you... What do you know? I know about the hotel. I know about the restaurant. I know about the parking lot behind the fertility clinic. I know you've been planning this for months. And I know you think I'm too stupid and too nice to do anything about it. Amanda's face crumpled. Greg, please. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. You've been cheating on me with your ex-boyfriend. You got pregnant, and now you're trying to pass it off as some noble surrogate gesture. I love you, she whispered. No, you don't. You love the idea of having your cake and eating it too. You love the security I provide while you play house with Mason. I closed my laptop and stood up. Here's what's going to happen, Amanda. Tomorrow morning, you're going to discover that you can't access our bank accounts, our credit cards, or our insurance. You're going to panic and call Jenna and Lisa, who are going to tell you to fix things with your husband. Amanda stared at me like she'd never seen me before. Then you're going to realize that I've already spoken to a lawyer and that adultery is still grounds for divorce in Oregon. You're going to understand that carrying another man's baby while married to me is going to make for some very interesting custody hearings. You can't do this, Amanda said, but her voice was shaky. I already have. Oh, and Amanda, I've also sent some very interesting photos and audio recordings to Mason's wife, Crystal. I think she deserves to know why her husband suddenly wants to find a surrogate. The next morning, Amanda's world started falling apart. First, the panicked call to the bank. Then the discovery that our credit cards were frozen. Then the call from Mason, screaming that his wife had thrown him out and was filing for divorce. Greg, please, Amanda begged, following me around the house as I got ready for work. We can fix this. I made a mistake, but we can work through it. The only mistake you made was underestimating me, I replied, straightening my tie. You thought I was the same pushover you married 20 years ago. What do you want from me? I turned to look at her. Really look at her. The woman I'd loved, supported, and trusted for 2 decades. The woman who'd been laughing about what a fool I was just days earlier. I want you to experience consequences for the first time in your adult life. That afternoon, while Amanda was desperately trying to reach her friends, I paid a visit to Mason's real estate office. He was there, looking haggard and desperate, trying to salvage his business after Crystal had made their divorce very public. "Greg," he said when he saw me. "Look, man, I can explain." "No need," I said calmly. "I just wanted to give you something." I pulled out a baby doll I'd bought at the toy store and set it on his desk. "Congratulations, Mason. You wanted a baby with my wife? Here you go." His face turned red. "You think this is funny?" "I think it's hilarious. You destroyed your marriage, your business, and your reputation for a woman who was using you to get back at me for some imagined slight from 20 years ago." Mason stood up, his hands clenched into fists. "You don't know what you're talking about." "I know exactly what I'm talking about. Amanda never got over the fact that I chose my career over moving to Los Angeles with her after college. She's been punishing me for it ever since, and you were just her latest weapon." I leaned across his desk. "But here's the thing, Mason. Amanda doesn't love you. She never did. You were just convenient. And now that you're broke, divorced, and unemployable, how convenient do you think you'll be?" The look in his eyes told me he was starting to figure it out. That weekend was our town's annual winter festival. Amanda, desperate to maintain appearances, insisted we attend as a family. She'd spent the week trying to convince our friends that everything was fine, that the divorce rumors were just gossip. "Please, Greg," she said as we walked through the festival grounds. "Sophie's watching. Can't we just pretend to be happy for one afternoon?" "Like you've been pretending for 20 years. Amanda's friends Jenna and Lisa approached us, their faces carefully neutral. "Hi, Greg," Jenna said. "How are you holding up?" "Never better," I replied. "Did Amanda tell you about the baby? She's so excited to be carrying Mason's child." The color drained from both women's faces. "Greg," Lisa whispered, "people can hear you." "I hope so. I'd hate for anyone to miss Amanda's big announcement." Amanda grabbed my arm. "Stop it, please." "Stop what? Being proud of my wife's generous spirit? Her willingness to help her ex-boyfriend by sleeping with him and getting pregnant?" A small crowd was starting to gather. Amanda looked around desperately, realizing that her carefully constructed facade was crumbling in real time. "You're being cruel," she whispered. "I'm being honest. For the first time in our marriage, I'm being completely honest." Mason appeared through the crowd, his face desperate. "Amanda, we need to talk." "Perfect timing," I said loudly enough for everyone to hear. "Mason, how does it feel knowing your baby will be born to a woman who's been lying to everyone about why she's pregnant?" "Shut up!" Mason snarled, stepping closer to me. "Or what? You'll hit me? In front of all these people? In front of my daughter?" Mason's hands were shaking with rage, but he wasn't stupid enough to assault me in public. "That's what I thought," I said. "You're real brave when you're sneaking around behind people's backs, but not so tough when you have to face the consequences." Amanda was crying now, her perfect makeup running down her face. "Greg, please. I'll do anything. I'll get rid of the baby. I'll never see Mason again. Please, don't do this." I looked at her for a long moment. "You still don't get it, do you? This isn't about what you'll do now. This is about what you've already done, what you've been doing for 20 years. I turned to address the crowd that had gathered. "My wife is pregnant with another man's baby. She calls it surrogacy, but it's really just adultery with a fancy name. I thought you all should know, since she's been asking for donations to the fertility clinic while she was getting pregnant the old-fashioned way." The crowd erupted in whispers and gasps. Amanda's reputation in our small community was destroyed in an instant. "You're a monster," Amanda sobbed. "No," I said quietly. "I'm just done being your victim." Mason tried to grab Amanda's hand. "Come on, let's get out of here." "Where are you going to go?" I asked. "Your wife divorced you, your business is ruined, and you're about to be a father with no income and no home. Congratulations, Mason, you played yourself." As they walked away together, I felt Sophie slip her hand into mine. "Dad, are you okay?" I looked down at my daughter, the one good thing that had come from my marriage. "I'm better than I've been in years, sweetheart," How about we get some hot chocolate? What about Mom? I watched Amanda and Mason disappear into the crowd, two people who had destroyed everything they touched in pursuit of a selfish fantasy. Your mom made her choice. Now she gets to live with it. 6 months later, Amanda and Mason's baby was born. By then, Amanda was living in a studio apartment across town, working as a receptionist because her HR career had imploded along with her reputation. Mason was selling used cars and living with his brother. They'd gotten what they wanted, each other and a baby. They'd also lost everything else, their friends, their careers, their financial security, and their standing in the community. As for me, I got full custody of Sophie, kept the house, and started dating again. Turns out, when you stop letting people walk all over you, life gets a lot more interesting. The divorce was finalized on a Tuesday. Amanda signed the papers without a fight, probably because her lawyer had explained exactly how badly she'd lose if we went to trial. "Do you hate me?" she asked as we left the courthouse. I considered the question seriously. "No, Amanda, I don't hate you. I just finally see you clearly." That evening, Sophie and I celebrated with pizza and a movie. She was thriving in her new school, making friends, and seemed happier than she'd been in years. "Dad," she said as the credits rolled, "I'm proud of you." "For what?" "For not letting Mom and Mason treat you like garbage anymore." I hugged my daughter close, grateful for her wisdom and her love. Amanda had spent 20 years trying to make me feel small and stupid and worthless. But in the end, she'd only succeeded in making herself exactly those things.